Good morning, Paleo Keepers, and welcome back to Prehistoric Kingdom. Now, it's been a while since we've been on the game, and I thought, well, you know what, we need to jump back on here. We need to make a new enclosure. So I've gone onto the test version of the game, and can you guess what kind of enclosure I'm going to be making and for what creature? If you've guessed Ursus Spelaeus, then you are correct. This is the new bear that's been added into the game. So currently you can mess around with it, I mean, go and view it, make an enclosure for it, have a nosy, whatever you want to say, in the test version of the game, as it's coming out some point this month, which I'm really excited to see. But honestly, I had a lot of fun making this enclosure, and I'd go as far as saying that I feel like this might be one of my best enclosures, or at least one of the enclosures I aesthetically like the most. Now, I'm doing a very simple viewing area, and it's almost going to have like a pit enclosure kind of vibe. So my plan is to have this raised viewing gallery here, make it nice and simple. It's an outdoor one, it's not an indoor one, but I'm still going to give them a little bit of shelter to glass in case there is any kind of rain that may land on them. So you know, I've got to think about my guests. I'm nice to my guests, so we're making this little area here. I do skip a little bit of it because that roof took a little bit longer than I expected. Even though I was like basically copy and pasting a lot of it, I thought I'd change some certain bits up so it didn't look samey all the way through. And then I went to making the rock wall and the cave entrance, which will be to its inside like habitat area where it can go and rest. So basically like a cave. And then I raised the ground all the way around the habitat. We're going to use temperate plants for this one, as well as having a waterfall at the back. And I wanted the temperate plants all the way around the top of the rocky area as well, just to make it kind of almost hidden. It's almost like a lost valley in a sense, that kind of feeling to it. And then I went to town with adding loads of rocks, trying to make things around the pond quite rockish and going in with the rest of the theme of the rock all around it. And I was quite happy with that. And then I added a few mounds of rocks. So all I did was build up these mountains like this with rocks, and then lifted the terrain around it, and then used a bit of the rock brush on it as well, just to give it a bit of blending in, different height areas, and that'll just be another interesting area for the bears to climb inside the enclosure. As you can see right now, I'm just sort of making the bottoms look different all the way across it, so it doesn't look samey, which is you could just leave these rocks, but then it'd be highly noticeable that it'd be very samey all the way around, and kind of break that aesthetic look that I was going to go for. Then I used the dirt brush path to make like a path, so it looks like these areas have been walked on a lot. And then I'm going to use the temperate brush a little bit later and add tons of like flowery kind of grass vibes. I kind of want this sort of like pretty kind of like hidden valley, slightly forest, kind of grassland sort of vibe. And I really do like flowers. Anyways, I went to making the housing area for them. This is where the keepers are going to go in. They're going to give them their food, bedding, things like this, an area to watch them. I do use a little bit of the actual in-game fence because I really did like the look of it, and I felt like this added quite a nice vibe to this indoor area. Added a different roof for the little indoor staff bit, making it a bit sloped, and then just using the flat plane roof. And honestly, it just makes it look a little bit more different, especially with like the height differences and things like that, rather than making it like a really big cube. Now, something I've not experimented with yet are the doors. I know in other games the zookeepers can walk through the doors, even if they're blocking their way through. I don't know about this game, so either the zookeepers can get to this enclosure or they're kind of trapped outside of it. I'm not too sure. It'd be nice if they make it, if it isn't a case, if the zookeepers could just walk through those doors that I've placed, so then the buildings look a little bit more interesting. But luckily we're not playing challenge mode here, so it doesn't really matter too much because we're playing on sandbox. But I do like seeing zookeepers move around the zoo. And it'd be just kind of interesting to see them actually go into the enclosure and do what they're meant to be doing, like looking after our animals. So as you see there, I added a little bit of bedding. I just added a little bit of extra detail to the building so it didn't seem completely plain on the outsides, like aircon, things like that, so it's nice and like fresh in there rather than stuffy. And I thought I'd add like a decorational boat up on the rocks. I thought that looked kind of cool in the pond. And then I make this climbing frame. So it's like, at first I was going to put the food on there, and yeah, I put the meat down. I know they're more herbivorous. Man, I can't get my words out today again. Just we know they're more herbivore-like, but obviously opportunistic feeding. I bet if they came across a carcass or something that threatened them and they ended it, I'm pretty sure they would, you know, snack on that to get that extra protein in. But yeah, it's just a really nice little vibe I've added to the enclosure. I do love the new like logs and things from the rustic. I feel like it really adds to this build. Now, the bears are a little bit glitchy going up it. I'm going to be doing a separate short, small like clip of that rather than adding it all into this video, because I want the clips to look somewhat nice rather than the bear doing the glitch dance. But you'll see that separately, probably in a short, because it is rather quite funny watching them trying to get up there. So now I'm placing my own plants to where I want them. I mix a different like plants from different environments into this one because I felt like it just adds like a nice vibe. Definitely like the zookeepers planted it, and as you see there, I'm adding all the different flowers where, like I said, I wanted it very flowery, grasslandy around this habitat. And honestly, like I said, aesthetically, I'm really pleased with this enclosure. I feel like it fits really well for these cave bears, and it looks so cool. Like honestly, like these bears, they've done a really good job on it. Looking at the fluff, those ears on the bears, that just like you'd if you could stroke this animal without it doing any damage to, you'd really want to. These prehistoric teddy bears are absolutely adorable, and I feel like they've done a really great job on the animations of them, the sounds of them, the way they just look in general, the fur. They look absolutely incredible. And like this, like I said, this is the test version of the game, and I really enjoyed it. Oh yeah, it also made like a fake scratching post with rope and a log. I don't know how I completely missed to mention that, but yeah, it took the bear a while to get on top of there, but it gets there eventually. It gets to the ice cube eventually, but it did take itself quite the while to get up there. But nevertheless, it was just nice seeing it on top of my like feeding platform. But anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's given you some inspiration for your builds, and as always, thank you for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.